you're only listening to one side of an argument. Yeah, there's a spirited debate going on about Aisha's age. A lot of people say she might have been 15 or 17. And then there's records that say she was 9. But there's an argument saying there's a really good argument for her actually being 17 years old when she married and consummated with the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, as they say. So I'm sorry, but you guys are only listening to the worst arguments against Islam, and you don't even want to listen to the other side. Like, I listen, like, and I suggest you take it like this: listen to the worst arguments or the most heinous arguments against Christianity, and then listen to the most, like, I would say, apologist side arguments for Christianity. Like, don't just listen to the bad and think that you know everything about Islam. Don't just listen to the bad and think you know everything about Christianity. That's like literally the most foolish thing you could honestly do.
Files. Give me your biggest piece of proof that Donald Trump in any way knew about any pedophilia, and name actual names of people who you're willing to say are pedophiles.
Yo, Little Dance, look, you know that in the Talmud for Jews, it says okay for them to marry children in the Talmud. You know that, right? Okay to abuse children who are non-Jews in the Talmud. So you don't know what you're talking about there. I just read out how in America, Christians are the ones who are doing child marriages in large number in the Bible Belt. So yes, Christians, Jews, they do child marriage as well, as bad as it is. So you don't even know what you're talking about. Sadly, like I said, a lot of y'all truly don't know what you're talking about. Don't even know how your own religion works, or don't even know what the people do in your own religion. Hilarious.
Files in that administration. Go ahead.
Okay, I never made either one of those claims.
Exactly.
But I will respond to your question. Yeah. Howard Lutnick lied when he said he hadn't been to the island since he found out. He got caught lying. He took his family there. This was after Epstein had already been a convicted pedophile. Now, if Donald Trump wants to claim he has plausible deniability as far as Epstein's activities are concerned, I suppose that's...
Shout out to my man Jay. He had to go look it up. He's like, wait, hundreds of children under the age of 14 are married in the U.S. each year. I can't get up. Bro, that's the fact. Trust me, when I found out this fact as well, and I found out it was mainly coming from the Bible Belt, it low-key made me look at, like, it low-key made me hate not even hate, but have a disdain for the Christians who judge Islam even more, because it's like, all right, well, you obviously don't look at your own history. You obviously don't look into what's going on. And you're literally just getting fed hatred for Muslims when your own people do the same thing. Y'all was complaining about forced conversions from back in their history when y'all did the same thing with the Crusades. That's what I'm saying. You guys have no right to talk about each other at all. At all. No room to speak. At all. Muslims don't have no room to speak about Christians, and Christians ain't got no room to speak about Muslims. Y'all have nothing on each other that y'all ain't did yourselves.
Are you even claiming that guy's a pedophile?
Well, you know what? If you want to talk about the things Trump has said about his daughter,
answer the question before
we can talk about it. We can talk about Donald Trump. Hold on a second.
Are you going to call that guy a pedophile?
Have I called Trump a pedophile once?
Well, this is why I'm getting clarification.
The answer is no.
The reason I'm getting clarification is because on the Epstein files, people refuse to separate mythology from fact. And there's a lot of mythology here.
Yeah, I did.
And this mythology that you guys continuously talk about, that Trump is in some way associated with this global cabal of satanic pedophiles, but you never name names, you never give evidence. Your only evidence is they don't give us evidence. Why would you trust the evidence that these people give you anyway? Why would you even trust that anyway? You don't trust them, the evidence that they've given you so far. So why is it always the demand is like, I want endless evidence of a thing that we always make claims about, but can never demonstrate? Why?
So Trump is obviously maybe mentioned more than anyone else in the files. If you want to claim that he has nothing to show illegal in the files, that's fine. Howard Lutnick, however, lied when he said he hadn't been there. He is still in the Trump administration. He was just running point for their meeting at the Oval Office just last week. And he's in the files taking his kids to Epstein Island. So would you take your kids to Epstein Island?
Well, okay. So are you saying at the time there was media scrutiny that this was a pedophilic island?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Epstein had already been charged. He'd already been in jail.
Are you saying this guy took his kids to the island to get them raped?
I don't know what he took his kids to the island for.
He denied it. He denied it. Again, by the way,
he denied it.
This again,
he lied.
Absence of evidence means that that's evidence. That's not evidence.
No, you guys never will actually name. Did Howard Lutnick go to the island?
I'm not sure.
He admitted it. He's in the files.
Yeah,
he took his kids.
I'm not sure on that particular. But it's irrelevant, the particular, because even if I grant the particular, you won't actually call the guy a pedo because you don't have evidence. You never have evidence, just claims. Claim, no evidence for it. Now, I'm willing to cede a bunch of points to you. If you can show me some evidence of it, happy to do it.
So you
Trump was, hang on, I'm almost done. Trump was actually right. He claimed that the Democrats were going to use the talking point that, Trump's a pedophile, Trump's covering for pedophiles, the whole 9 yards. He says, yeah, that's a hoax. Whole thing's a damn hoax. And it is. The whole damn thing is a hoax. They've been calling this guy a pedophile. You just said he's named in the, how many times is he named in the Epstein files? That's a Democrat talking point. Well, what's he named in the Epstein files for actually doing? What?
Well, there are FBI investigations that have some pretty serious claims. They never
not
manifested
credible.
anything.
They
That's
literally
fine.
say
That's
not
fine.
credible.
So we're not here to have a debate over the Epstein files. But I
brought
do,
it up as
but
a
I
reason
do
he's a
find it
failure.
odd. No, you are the one that brought it up. But I do find it odd that you're going to pretend like Howard Lutnick didn't lie about going to the island after Epstein was convicted and took his kids.
The point.
Are you going to tell me? Hold on a second.
It doesn't help your point.
Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me that Donald Trump was not friends with Jeffrey Epstein?
He was initially friends with Jeffrey Epstein,
so
but
he
also banned him from his properties.
That's fine, and he might have helped bring him in.
Hang on,
too.
he banned him from his properties, and he was also front and center at pointing out to people that Epstein was a creep. That's one, and two, everything that's mentioned in the files. Michael Tracy has done great work on this. He's gone through them ad nauseum.
So
the things which are put in there about Trump are ridiculous on their face, and the claims from various people about Trump are noted inside of these files most of the time as being not credible at all.
Here's what's credible. Alex Acosta is the one that cut Jeffrey Epstein his sweetheart deal. It was so bad of a deal that they had to re-examine it and re-arrest Jeffrey Epstein and put him back in jail in New York City.
Which administration did that happen under?
Where he was ultimately killed.
Yeah, which administration did that happen under?
The Trump administration.
That's right. He got
which is actually starting to look a little more suspicious. It's actually starting to look a little more suspicious now.
No.
Yeah.
How is that more suspicious? So
Acosta, he died in jail.
What administration?
How did Acosta, he die in jail?
What administration did Acosta?
Trump's.
Was he in when he cut the deal?
He wasn't in office.
I'm weak. Somebody said, you're comparing Christians of the Middle Ages. No, bro. Christians marry children today. They do it today, mainly in the Bible Belt. So I'm sorry that you guys don't know this, but yes, child marriages do occur in the United States, including in the Bible Belt. It is legally possible in many states due to exceptions. So yes. And here's the thing. Most of these child marriages happen within conservative, fundamentally Christian communities. Most of these child marriages. So no, I'm not comparing, Christians to the Middle Age to Muslims of today. No, I'm comparing Christians of today to Muslims of today. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't know anything about your own community, apparently, but you're quick to point fingers at another. That's the funny thing about y'all. That's what I'm saying. Y'all make Christians look bad.
Trump wasn't in office.
Yeah.
Acosta was an attorney.
Whose administration was that under?
Obama's.
Obama. So Obama, we have Acosta, goes ahead and gives him the sweetheart deal, right, under Obama.
You know
under the Trump administration, they rearrest Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that amazing? The guy protecting the pedophiles.
But here's the thing, though. What Andrew Wilson is not addressing is, one, the fact that Trump didn't originally wanted it to be released. We had to low-key twist that man's arm behind his back, or Thomas Massie and Rohanna did. So let's not sit here and act like Donald Trump wanted to release the files. He kind of got irritated and just said, F it, release it. And then while it was being released and through the Epstein Transparency Act, it was violated because it was supposed to be only protecting the victims. But there are whole pages redacted. And I'm like, unless you put a victim's name on there 1,000 times, there's no need to redact an entire page. Also, they stopped releasing it. The DOJ literally went straight to the American people and said, oh, yeah, that's all the Epstein files we're releasing. We know there's more, but that's all we're doing, right to our face, in violation of the Epstein Transparency Act. So we can't sit here and pretend like there isn't a cover-up.
So the person that Trump brought into his administration is the one that cut Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal that no pedophile, child sex trafficker.
And like I said, if you're being honest, guys, no, not all of the Epstein files has been released. 3 million pages have, but the DOJ has admitted that there's still 3 million more pages to go. So we have not gotten the full Epstein files at all. So I'm sorry. And here's the thing, it's still heavily redacted. It's not just protecting victims' names or blacking out whole stories, whole testimonies. So are you serious? Just because it's Trump, you're going to accept that? All right.
Has ever seen before in their life. Such a sweetheart deal, they had to rearrest him again.
Yeah, they have seen it before in their life. First
So
of
look,
all,
whether Trump,
he wasn't even accused of pedophilia. What he was accused of was localized trafficking in Florida. And yes, people have been cut sweetheart deals for that. You're full of it.
Okay, so your stance is Epstein was not a pedophile and there's nothing in the Epstein files, because I don't want to debate this the whole time.
I didn't say that. My stance is that there's bold claims which are made, and I can see you running from it. I don't blame you for running from the claim.
This isn't the debate. I'm not
don't have evidence.
I mean, you're on.
Is it a failure of Trump?
This is worse. Absolutely.
Well, then it's part of the debate.
There should be dozens of Epstein arrests.
It's part of the debate.
They are literally covering it up.
Tell me
exactly. They've redacted the names.
Who should we be arresting? Exactly.
I'd love
what does
to
that
know.
mean?
Why are all the names?
Well, Andrew Wilson, if you actually read the Epstein Transparency Act, you would know that the Trump administration or the Trump's DOJ is in violation of that law. So I'm sorry, but Owen got a really good point. Is that due to the fact that he's in violation of that law and he's just not giving a fuck, and now we done moved on to the Iran war? I do got to sit here and say it does seem like there's a cover-up going on, because right when we were all being outraged about the DOJ pretty much saying they're not releasing any more files, not because they're done, but because they just don't want to, all of a sudden we hop into this war. So I could kind of see where some of them say, oh, this is all to cover up the Epstein files, because, I mean, look at how it all happened in chronological order. I mean, they have every right to say that. I'm not in that belief, but I get why it's being said.
Acted from the files.
Because
why haven't they
I'll
given
tell
us
you.
all the files?
I'll actually tell you. And if you had done your due diligence, you would know this.
Oh, because they're victims.
No. Because victims advocacy groups and lawyers have tied this thing up like nobody's business. And again, Michael Tracy's done the research on this.
And no pedophiles go to jail.
Which pedophiles should go to jail?
The ones that they've redacted. So
what are the names?
So Epstein trafficked kids to no one.
No, Epstein was getting kids.
So
Ghislaine was trafficking kids to him.
Okay, so Epstein raped all the kids. No one else did.
Name a single person.
Are you freaking retarded? Oh my God. Epstein was, bro, you're believing the Fed slop that the DOJ gave us. Epstein only trafficked to himself. Ghislaine only trafficked to Epstein. She wasn't trafficking to other people. When the Epstein files completely disprove that. Oh my God. You could tell bro ain't even read this. You could tell he did not do no real investigation into the Epstein files at all whatsoever. Didn't even read it.
And he trafficked you to.
They're all redacted from the files. What are you talking about?
The files don't even indicate that.
You can see.
That's why everybody was outraged, Andrew Wilson. Everybody was outraged because that it was showing us who was doing it, but it was redacted. It said, oh, I want to go ahead and give you this girl and that girl redacted. Like, that's the problem with the Epstein files, and it's obvious that Andrew Wilson didn't even look at them, or he'd be just as outraged that they are covering for pedophiles. This is what they meant by saying they're covering for pedophiles, because they're redacting the names of the people that were involved. Now you understand why they say Trump's protecting pedophiles and why they have a somewhat of a good point when they say that? You understand now? All right, then.
In the emails, he says, I have girls. How old do you want them? I have girls. I don't like yellow. I want Russian. That's all right there.
That's not him. There's nothing to do with pedophilia. As far as you know, show me some evidence.
As far as you know, it does.
Wait a second. Absence of evidence is not evidence. Do you agree with that?
No, I'm using your logic against you. If you're saying
my
it
logic
doesn't
works
prove
for
anything,
me and not for you.
Okay, so I'll accept this because I don't want to debate. So Epstein was not a pedophile. He was not trafficking children, anybody. He was not friends with Trump. They're not covering up. They're not covering up the files.
I'm willing to see the distinction between the mythology of Epstein trafficking children to all of these various pedophiles is a mythology. I'm also willing to see that Epstein himself may very well have been a pedophile, but it seemed like the trafficking was going to him. And you have no proof to the alternative of that. And even when you point at Acosta,
so what is that?
This happens under Obama, rearrested under Trump. Trump's the only one who released any Epstein files at all, signed in the Epstein Transparency Act.
Yeah,
Congress
after they redacted them for weeks, they still haven't released everything.
Yeah,
they still
haven't released everything. And let's be real, it was shout out to my man Thomas Massie and Rohana. Those were the two that was pushing for the Epstein Transparency Act. Republicans were trying to stop it. Trump was trying to stop it. Mike Johnson was trying to stop it. So let's not act like, bro, there wasn't some type of resistance coming from the administration, because there was. And when this Epstein Transparency Act finally got pushed through, there was heavy redactions. And in the Epstein Transparency Act, they said you're only supposed to protect the name of victims, not sit there and redact whole testimonies.
Released everything, by the way.
How would Trump unredact them? Can you explain that to me?
Well, they shouldn't be redacted at all.
Yeah, but how would Trump unredact them?
Well, it's actually pretty easy. I think he calls them and says, hey,
no,
unredact these
no,
names.
no, no. That's the judicial branch. That's a different branch of government.
And he can call them and
Trump's
tell them
allowed to do that with classified documents. Not allowed to do that with redactions. Those redactions are going through the judiciary. So what should Trump do here?
He can easily declassify. He can easily release everything.
They're not classified. They're redacted.
Then why aren't they released?
He did release them.
Not
he
all
released
of them.
Millions of documents.
Not all of them.
And not only that, again, how
Here's
would he
the
get
problem though, and this is what Andrew don't understand as well. In the Epstein Transparency Act, they said if there are redactions, you must provide a good explanation for this redaction. They did not provide a good explanation for half of the redactions that they did. They just looked at us and said, oh, well, bro, you got what you got. And I'm like, are you serious? You're going against the act. Because the act said that if you're going to put any redactions, you need to provide a damn good reason why this is redacted. So, AKA, if you're going to redact a whole fucking page, there better be a nice ass cliff note on why this whole fucking page is redacted. But there's not.
unredacted? Tell me.
Not even all of them. They're
Tell
not
me
even
how
all
he
released.
would get them unredacted. How?
It's very simple. You bring out the investigators and you simply read the names that are redacted. That's all you got to do.
You mean like they did in front of a press club?
Greg, I know you think I'm a Democrat, but I'm actually happy that Kamala lost. So you're in the wrong space. If you're in the wrong space, if you think that's hurting anybody's feelings.
Club and those poor guys who weren't actually pedophiles got calls and threats and everything else.
That happened to one guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
one guy.
That's reading the names of people who aren't even related to it.
Okay,
this is the problem.
So
man.
this is good. So you're satisfied with the Epstein files?
I didn't say satisfied, but I'm pointing out that I'm not willing to make claims that Donald Trump's a bad guy based on redactions that he's not responsible for. You can't tell me how he should unredact them. You can't tell me
it's very simple. I want
the victims
all the
are. You can't tell me any of this.
I do,
the
gentlemen,
victims go in front of Congress every freaking day.
I only want to jump in just because, given that we have only 40 minutes for the open dialogue, though it's been epic so far. I just want to be sure if there are other topics you want to cover. We have 28 minutes left.
I would say,
can we move on to the economy?
The Epstein files is a debacle and a disaster for
the releasing of the Epstein files was a debacle. I agree with that. The problem is that what I'll never accept is lack of evidence being evidence of a thing. And while you pretend that there's a global pedophilic ring that you have no evidence of controlling the United States, I can show you a global pedophilic ring which exists right out in the open that Trump's blowing up right now.
So Epstein didn't put a bunch of security cameras and all of this.
And it's so crazy because if you ask Andrew Wilson to prove that there's a pedophilia ring in Iran, he would literally say, well, they're Muslims. I'm just like, that's his argument. It's the most low IQ argument ever. And it's like, bro, Andrew, you're smarter than this. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to Muslims, bro, Andrew will go from 140 IQ to 40 IQ real quick. He'll just say the most dumbest things. Like, I don't know what it is, but he gets too emotional and he loses logic when it comes to, well, Muslims. Because to sit there and say an entire country is a bunch of pedophiles because they're Muslims is crazy. Or to say that every Muslim is a pedophile is absolutely insane. But that's what he's doing.
Places that didn't happen. He wasn't working with Maxwell, the daughter of the top Israeli
Yes, he worked with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, there were security cameras in his various places. All of that is correct. That's, again, asking questions, not providing evidence.
So why does he do that for?
Wait, there's cameras here. What's that evidence?
This is an event. This is a televised event.
Yeah, but what's that? What's the evidence of?
Who is Epstein televising what's going on in his room?
He wasn't televising anybody. Got any proof?
So why are there cameras installed?
Because the same reason rich people have cameras all over their houses.
So he has them in all of his bedroom secret cameras?
What secret cameras? Can you show them?
Yeah, they're in the emails. He literally hired IMF security people to put secret cameras in all of his rooms.
No.
He had a damn security room with monitors in his mansions.
Yeah. You're talking about one specific instance and one
specific instance. Like, bro, isn't that good enough? It's like, isn't it good enough that you kind of got you got secret cameras and a control room in your crib? That's not suspicious enough for you? Like, so you're telling me, Andrew Wilson, you see all that and be like, I see nothing wrong here. Bro. Okay, bro, you're trying way too hard. This is embarrassing.
By the way, not on all of his properties and not in the Florida properties. And those are the ones where he got convicted of all these things. So what are you talking about? You're talking about a completely unrelated thing to what I'm asking you. Do you have evidence that Trump was part of a global pedophilic ring or that anybody was?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
What? Give me your best piece.
The Epstein files.
Best piece in the Epstein files.
The whole freaking thing. What are you talking about?
Okay,
so hold on. So was Epstein convicted?
Not of pedophilia.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Was Max?
What? Bro, he was arrested for running a prostitution ring with little girls, with 12-year-old little girls. And they reported on him doing that. Yes, prostitution and pedophilia, what he got charged with. What are you saying? Oh my God, bro, you don't know nothing about this. Like, and your best argument is what? Oh, he's blowing up pedophiles in Iran? Like, are you serious, dude? And you're only saying that because they're Muslim. You don't have no proof of that either. You're just saying they're a bunch of pedophiles because they're Muslim. No proof, no nothing. You're just as worse. And I'm sorry, but if you're saying that he's bad for saying this about the Epstein files and him bringing up proof and the fact that, you know, Epstein, people's names is actually redacted, who is caught trafficking, not caught trafficking, but who is said to be trafficking children. I'm sorry, but Owen is coming with way better proof that there's pedophiles in our government with the Epstein files than you're providing proof that there's pedophiles in Iran. Like, what's going on here?
Well, convicted.
I'm sorry.
Was Maxwell?
I'm sorry. When was Jeffrey Epstein convicted of pedophilia?
Epstein, jail. Maxwell,
when
jail.
was Epstein
Jean-Luc
convicted
Brunel,
of pedophilia?
jail.
When was
two of them committed suicide
when was Epstein
in jail?
Convicted of pedophilia?
I think whatever the first charge was, 2007 in Florida.
That's not. He wasn't convicted for pedophilia.
Trafficking children isn't pedophilia.
First of all,
so now you're saying Epstein was
he was literally arrested for prostituting little girls. Are you fucking stupid, dude? Like, guys, I'm sorry, but who in here doesn't know that Jeffrey Epstein in Florida was pretty much convicted for prostituting 12-year-old girls to give massage to grown-ass men? Who don't know that? You don't know that? All right. Oh, my goodness. This is crazy.
Doing underage, there was one or two of the underage prostitutes that came from the school. That's true. But I think
that's
they were
underage.
I think they were 16, 17, not prepubescent children. It's a whole different ball game. He wasn't convicted of pedophilia.
Okay. So Epstein wasn't a pedophile. Glad we got there.
I didn't say Epstein.
All right, let me go ahead and read out the charges for you since Andrew Wilson want to be a fucking dumbass. Like, I actually thought this guy was smart. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted in 2008 of Florida state charges of soliciting prostitution from a minor. He pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor. Are you serious? Andrew Almacky lost this part of the debate. He's done. He's cooked. He's cooked. Is that not pedophilia? Would you not consider somebody doing that a pedophile? I mean, I'm speechless. The fact that bro even said this, it lets you know he doesn't know shit about the Epstein files. He did no real research into this. And Owen is just cooking his ass.
He wasn't a pedophile. I said, you haven't given us any proof he is. Got some?
Yeah, there's no proof Epstein wasn't a pedophile.
Oh, I'm going to use an argument from incredulity.
He killed himself in jail. Nothing to see here. And we should probably pardon Maxwell, too.
I'm totally incredulous, but I have no evidence of my claims.
Just because the economy is another topic we might want to cover still while we have time. We do still have about 25 minutes.
Bro, that is pedophilia. When you're attracted to minors, are you a dumbass? Like, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe the defense of this. I can't believe people's defending this. Oh my goodness. Like, did you see that? That's a minor, not a pedophile. Bro. Oh my God. Oh, guys, man, that almost made me clock out. That almost made me just go like, you know what, guys, I'm going to bed. I can't. I just can't.
Anyway, so I try to operate off of facts basis. What happened, I'll just sum this up real quick, and then I'll give you the last word on it, to be fair. I'll just summarize it very quickly on Epstein. Epstein very well could have been a pedophile and likely was himself a pedophile. But when you make these claims about demonic global pedophile rings which control the United States, yeah, I want some evidence. I do. And I'm not willing to throw the president of the United States that I voted for under the bus without any evidence. I'm not. So
what do you mean? Bro, I can't believe bro going out this sad. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of prostitution of a minor, from a minor. I mean, that makes you, if that don't make you a pedophile, I don't know what does at this point. Oh my goodness. He said, no proof, no proof. Are you serious, dude? Are you all right? He got it. He got it, guys.
Tie it off, you can.
Well, I'll just say we also saw in the Democrat emails spirit cookings and children in the hot tub for entertainment. So, but there's no evidence of pedophile rings or anything.
You're talking about
I'm sure none of it
Podesta
happens.
spirit cooking?
I'm sure none of it
The
happens.
big art
hate
project
That's right,
spirit cooking?
Podesta. That's right.
Yes, Leon Podesta, who was part of a
I hate to
massive
push this
art.
in.
No, bro, that wasn't Podesta. I mean, no, Podesta also talked about it, but there was spirit cooking in the Epstein files as well. But I guess you don't know that. Bro didn't even know that Epstein got convicted of like low-key prostitution of a minor. Like that's basically pedophilia, bro. And he didn't even know that. So I'm sorry, but I can't even listen to bro no more on anything that involves the Epstein files because he's showing us that he's uninformed.
Project for spirit cooking, along with, how about we talk about Rocket Pizza? Did they have babies underneath there, Owen? Did they have children in the basement, Owen?
Good opportunity to go into the economy.
Yeah. All right. So moving into this, I just got a single question for you. Owen, how would eliminating mass migration into a net negative not cause economic downturn or higher prices? How's that even possible?
Well, it's actually, there's a simpler fix to that, and that is you have to cut taxes. You have to cut them significantly. You have to cut them immediately. Americans are paying roughly 30% of the money that they make plus the property that they own. That number needs to be single digits tops. And a lot of Americans will have a little more money to take care of their bills and take care of their family. But we're not really having that happen. Now, I feel like this whole argument is assuming that Americans don't want these jobs.
No, it's assuming they do. In fact, my argument to you is just, I'll simply state it. If it's the case that we bring in, I don't know, 100,000 immigrants tomorrow to California, let's say, okay, and they're willing to take $10 an hour less than the Americans who are there, would you agree with me that that'll probably save you prices in goods and services from whatever that corporation is or company?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. So like if you took McDonald's and you paid them $25 an hour, your cheeseburger is going to get more expensive. You agree with that? So you can offset that with immigrant labor. Do you agree that that's likely true?
Yes, but I don't believe that's the solution.
I agree with you. But if it is in fact the case that Trump is doing his job, which it seems like he is, since we have negative net migration, why wouldn't it be the case that if we're deporting all of these illegals and they're self-deporting in an overwhelming rate, of course your localized food prices are going to go up because most of these jobs are now going to Americans. In fact, this is exactly what Cato is saying. They're saying we're getting hurt mostly in the economy because Trump is not even letting legal immigrants come in. I thought that was what we wanted, man. We want to stop that legal and illegal immigration. But it's like, not if your fried chicken's going to go up 30 cents. What are you talking about? We want that, right?
Well, the deportation numbers are not where they need to be. I don't know how much that falls into the economic realm of things. Obama deported more people than Trump. So we're not.
There was a lot more people to deport.
But I think that there's other reasons for that. I think that this gets into the, let's say, failures at the Department of Justice, which maybe they're just starting to get into with the SPLC. But I don't know. We'll see about that if we can come back to that. We're being told as Americans, hey, buck up and pay more for gas. It's this war in Iran. You've got to buck up. It's your patriotic duty to pay more for gas. That is a war that's being fought in the foreign and special interests. Do you think Americans might be willing, instead of paying another extra $1 per gallon of gasoline, maybe an extra 10 cents for a cheeseburger if they know that means Americans are taking the job? I mean, that's essentially what we're being asked.
But most Americans don't know that because even people on my side are running around saying Trump's not deporting enough people, even though we have a net negative in migration right now. Those jobs,
we do have a closed border.
Hang on, those jobs, yes, a closed border and net negative migration, legal and illegal. More people are leaving than coming. That's for the first time we finally got that. It's like, yeah, prices are going to go up from that. You know this. Why not be honest with people?
Went up
if that's the
prices,
case,
no,
and then we
prices
talk
went
about
up from
gas. Hang
tariffs.
on, I'm almost done.
Prices went up from tariffs.
Okay.
Prices went up
You
from
want to get
energy.
into tariffs? We can do that in a second, but let's start with the gas prices. All you're doing is pitting Trump against Trump. On the Biden level, at his top, do you know what the gas prices were?
About right where they're at now.
Nope. Way more. They were over $5.50. Yeah, they're $1 cheaper right now at the peak of Trump than they were at the peak of Biden. So you're only comparing Trump's gas prices to Trump's gas prices. Because if you compare them to the Democrat, they were still way higher. I mean,
well, I mean, actually, if you compare it to the price at the end of Biden's term, then actually, no, Biden had around that $3.50 gas, and I know Lord knows we're above that. We're at $4 national average. And here's the thing. I mean, isn't that another reason to condemn Trump? Because last year, a year ago, Trump had gas at $3.17. It's at $4. So you can't really sit here and say that, oh yeah, there's an improvement when gas is now more expensive. So I'm sorry, but as much as you guys want to sit here and say, but Biden and all this good stuff, yeah, that's great but we voted for Trump for lower gas prices. So if he's not giving us that, we have every right to call that out without getting hit with but Biden, Biden had it at $5. I know, that's why we voted him out. And Trump got it at $4, and that's not good.
Way higher.
But
now,
when did the price go up?
Trump speculation mostly.
No, when did the price go up?
Oh, I thought you said why did the price go up?
When did
the price has been going up steadily and decreasing
since we
steadily.
attacked Iran.
Yes, correct.
True.
Due to what? Market speculation. And you can't control speculators, and neither can Trump. It's not because we have some supply shortage of oil. Where's our shortage? Nowhere. We're not getting oil from Iran.
Bro,
we don't even have the processes for their oil.
I'm sorry, Andrew, you should be smarter than this. Oil is a global commodity. So it's not priced on how much oil do we have. It's priced on how much oil is running through the world. So if 20% of the world's oil is missing, that means there's more of a scarcity in oil. Since there's a higher scarcity in oil, prices go up because it's priced on a global scale. Like, how don't you know that?
Goes to China. So we have no shortage, but our oil prices go up. Why? Because of speculation. And you just completely omit that. Not only do you omit that, but you omit this other part, which is you still haven't explained how it is.
I'm sorry, but somebody who don't know how that oil is priced globally, priced on a global supply and not a domestic supply, you can't really call smarter than me at this point. I'm sorry, bro. Don't work like that.
We're going to have net negative migration and prices aren't going to go up. They
Trump,
are,
hold
right?
on a second. Trump is the one that claimed that he could get gas prices down.
He's
the one that made that claim.
And
it
he
hasn't
did.
happened.
They're lower than Biden's peak by $1.
No.
Yes.
Okay, but we don't even know if we've seen Trump's peak. If this war in Iran doesn't end,
you can't just say.
Hold on. You talking about the lowest that Biden had gas prices at? Is that Biden's peak? Because if you're talking about Biden's peak, then the lowest Biden had gas prices that was at the end of his term around like that 345. So 350, 345 is where gas was at the end of 2024. So actually, nah, if that's Biden's peak, if that's Biden's lowest, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Trump is kind of, failing right now if that's the case. Because Biden's peak, Biden's best price from what I've seen was at that 350.
Well, I'm incredulous they may go up more. They're actually going down. They've been going down steadily.
Gas prices are going down?
Yes, they're going to be going down, yes. And speculators, by the way, are speculating that, which is why.
No, not really. We're looking at the global, they're looking at the global supply, and they're mainly looking at what I'm looking at. They're looking at stuff like this. Oilprice.com, number one source for oil and energy news. And they're seeing that Brent crude is still trading above $100. And they're seeing that WTI crude is still trading at above $90. And like a lot of people, for some reason, don't see this as a problem. And you know what? Let me go ahead and show you why it's a problem. Let's go ahead and go to this chart right here, the WTI chart. And let's go ahead and get to a 1 year right here, or 3 months. Yeah, 3 months should be enough. No, I guess not. Let's go to 1 year, because I really want to show you where in God's name we were at. Now, guys, you see before the war how we're at $60, you feel me? And then right here, February 28th, the day of the war, 67. This is where we need to get back to in order for prices to start falling. They're not going to start falling at 80. They're not going to start falling at 70, sadly. They're going to start, well, maybe 70. But they're definitely going to not start falling at 80 or 90. They're going to start falling when we get back to that original price of $67 a barrel. And maybe even better, because it was actually lower than that. Like, do you see the price range here? We was around that $50 to $60 a barrel. So trust me, prices ain't going down until we get back to that, which apparently Andrew Wilson don't understand.
They're going to be going down. Interestingly enough, when we're talking about oil prices, though, and gas prices, yes, at Biden's peak, they were $1 more than they are the national average right this second as we're talking. I even made sure this morning before we came in, just to be sure. And yes, that is in fact the case. So it's like you're only comparing Trump to Trump, and even with him blowing the shit out of pedophiles in Iran, like the Ayatollah Khomeini, he still managed to give you $1 cheaper gas than Joe Biden did.
But you just said it wasn't Trump. You just said it was the speculators. Now you're giving credit to Trump. So I don't know what, I'd like a little consistency.
Okay, so wait a second. So you're going to blame it on Trump instead of the speculators. But when I say even under those circumstances, it's $1 cheaper.
Bro, but here's the thing. You're wrong about saying that it's speculation because you don't even know how oil is priced. So your whole premise is wrong off the fact that you do not understand that but oil is priced off the global supply, not a domestic supply. So sitting there saying that is speculation and you don't know that means that you don't even understand why the prices are reflected the way they are. Like, this is crazy that he's even trying to speak on this after proving his ignorance on it.
That can't be because of Trump.
Let's be clear. No. Here's my metric.
I want the consistency.
No. Here's my metric. Yeah. Trump said on
and here's the thing, guys, refining capability, domestic oil production doesn't mean anything. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't understand that it's priced on a global supply. So what we do inside of America doesn't actually affect the price of oil outside of, on the world. That's what y'all don't understand because it's a global commodity priced on global supply. What you're saying about refineries in here in America does not matter. It's actually pretty idiotic of you to bring it up because it has nothing to do with global pricing or global supply.
Campaign, he would get gas prices down.
He did.
He hasn't done it.
Yes, he has.
He's even admitted that we had to take a detour off of America First to do this war. He said it's over. It's not a war. It is a war.
He has gotten the gas prices down.
Gas prices have gone up since we started the war.
No, bro. Gas prices are up. Since the war started, gas prices are up from last year in January. Actually, from last year in April, gas prices are up. So what are you talking about? Like, yes, a year over performance, and I'm going to have to compare Trump to Trump because I voted for him to bring down gas. It's more expensive.
Gas prices went up when we started the war due to market speculation.
So Trump started a war, and now gas prices are higher. That's the fact.
But you're only comparing Trump to Trump. And if you're going to compare him to Biden, gas is still cheaper than the Democrats.
This administration to this administration.
Exactly.
Gas prices have gone up since he started this war.
Yes, and if you follow Trump's plan, gas prices are likely going to bottom out because he has control of oil there.
That's a nice
control over oil in Venezuela.
That's a nice hope.
He has control over all of it.
Venezuela oil won't be ready for probably months.
But we still have control of it. What did I say? In the future, it'll go down.
We'll see. I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. But that's not the case right now. And Americans are struggling financially. And now
that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, the best argument MAGA got is, well, what about Biden? What about Kamala? And it's like, y'all literally forget that we voted for Trump for lower gas prices. Biden had around that 350 at the end of his term. So to be at $4, I'm gonna be real with you, that's bad. That's not good. And you guys creating excuses like, what about Biden? Kind of lets us know that you're basically the same as the Dems. You're not willing to hold accountable your own politicians. You're just like the Dems. You're no different than the leftists, guys. Be honest with you.
We are in another war in the Middle East, and we're sick of it.
Are you going to blame market speculators?
I'm going to blame Trump for getting us into another war on Israel's behalf. Yes, I am going to blame Trump for that. He did that.
So help me out here. Can you tell me all of the downsides of Donald Trump killing pedophiles in the Middle East?
Bro, I'm sorry, but you saying that him killing pedophiles in the Middle East, I would say prove it. Prove that the entire Iranian clergy, prove that all of their leadership is pedophiles, because the average age of marriage in Iran is like what, 24, 25. So like, you're not even really representing the entire country correctly. You're actually just saying this because the majority of the country is Muslim. So this is such a bad faith argument. You're saying, well, we're bombing pedophiles in Iran. You're only saying that because they're Muslim and you have no proof of that. I mean, but I'll tell you who we are bombing. We bombed a bunch of little girls in Iran. Were those pedophiles? I mean, does that go inside your account of pedophiles as well, bro? I mean, come on now. We bombed a whole bunch of innocent citizens that were also protesting against the Ayatollah. Were those pedophiles as well, bro? Like, okay.
First of all, do you know every single person? Were those schoolgirls pedophiles?
It's
What?
institutionalized in the Iranian.
Just
government.
we're the 200.
Hey, yo, you are retarded, dude. Scarcity, bro, that goes along with pricing. Are you dumb? He said, okay, supply and capacity has nothing to do with pricing. Nigga. Yeah, bro never went to an economics class, obviously. That's literally like how supply and demand works. It's literally off the quantity, aka the supply. And when the quantity is low, which means that there's high scarcity, that means the price increase. What, do I need to go ahead and draw a graph for you? Like, oh my goodness. Yo, I'm sorry, bro. You can't even speak on the subject no more saying something dumb like that. Can't even speak on the subject no more.
Schoolgirls pedophiles.
We want to make sure that they're alive so they can get raped. But that aside, no, of course not. But there's going to be deaths inside of a war.
No, you can't speak on the
So
subject.
it is a war.
You're cooked.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't a war.
Does he need
I'm not going to
congressional
quibble
approval?
over the word, even though there's no ground invasion, there's no boots on the ground, there's none of that. I just want to know, how is the global interest served? You're so concerned about pedophiles. He killed one of the most major ones who's ever existed since the late 1970s.
Well, he was friends with Epstein.
He put it inside of the Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, dude. And by the way, Khomeini,
that's good.
Khomeini,
So,
hang on, almost done. Khomeini was married to a
Hold on. He put it. No, he didn't. Oh my God, guys! In the Quran, it does not say you can marry a 9-year-old girl. I hope you know that. Where the whole 9-year-old come from is a hadith, and these are like what stories about Muhammad's life, and there's inauthentic hadiths and there's authentic hadiths and all that good stuff. And be real with you guys, this is why I always say you might really want to study a religion before you cast judgment on it and actually know what's going on, because there are hadiths that says that she was 9. There's hadiths that said that she was 15 to 19, that she was actually pretty much a grown-ass woman, depending on what scholar you want to believe in. Somebody said, well, even Muslims agree that she were 9. Yeah, and there's also Muslims who argue that and says that she was 17. So, like I said, you guys are picking one side of an argument in a religious debate that you know nothing about. Crazy, isn't it?
He put it inside of the Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, dude. And by the
No, he didn't. It's not in the Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, guys. I mean, what? In the Constitution of Iran? No, let me see.
Since the late 1970s.
He was friends with Epstein.
He put it inside of the Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, dude. And by the way, Khomeini,
that's good.
Khomeini, hang on, almost done. Khomeini was married to a 15-year-old. Perhaps by the lunar cycle could have been 14. His son was married to a 14 or 15.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But you know what? At what age, guys? 25. Yes. Khomeini and Khomeini were both 25 when they married their wives. At 15, which is a 10-year gap. And I mean, guys, some of you guys are in relationships right now with a whole 10-year gap. So, I mean, are you a pedophile too? I'm just asking. I'm talking to you guys. Oh, well, you know, me and my wife are an adult and all this good stuff. But let's take it back a little bit. If you were 25, your wife would have been 15, and what? You'd have still, I mean, what? Would you still then? So it's really hard to sit there and judge a 10-year gap relationship when we got millions of those in the United States. Millions. And of course, child marriages going on in the United States till this day.
Year-old. A lot of his high command were married to children as well. Trump killed all of them without a single boot on the ground.
Great. And I'm sure after we've killed thousands of Iranians, including young schoolgirls and the entire family, I'm sure that the Iranians are going to be less radicalized because of that. So I'm not
radical. Yo, bro, you serious? So yeah, this guy, like, bro, how do you even take this debate seriously with a guy who debates like this? I didn't think he meant it, but he just said it out there. Like, you bombed a whole bunch of girls. Yeah, they're pedophiles. The little girls were pedophiles, dude. Like, what? They're an all-girls school. And this kind of shows that they're not pedophiles because, you know, in Iran, they separate the teachers. Yeah, in Iran, there's school for boys and school for girls. In Iran, in restaurants, there's places, there's a part for the girls and part for the boys. Actually, Iran is gender segregated throughout its society. It's gender segregated. So the possibility of pedophilia is almost, I'm gonna be real with you, it's really hard when, I don't know, they're separate Like when they go to different schools, go to different parts of the hospital, go to different parts of a restaurant, and they're separate. Like you don't know that, huh? Oh, because you never really did any research into Iran and their culture. You're just talking. You just don't. Oh, you're just talking because of what somebody else told you. No real research of your own, of course.
What do you mean? How do you get more radicalized than marrying children, dude?
What do you think they're going to stop?
What are you talking about?
You think they're going to stop?
No. Well, I'm just saying. How do you get more radical? You're like, oh, the Iranians are going to get more radicalized than marrying kids.
Well,
like, the United States blowing up the pedophiles is going to really make them mad.
How many countries has Iran been bombing this year?
Well, Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism. You agree with that?
Is Israel a state sponsor of terrorism?
I think that Israel's done many terrorist actions.
Is America a state sponsor of terrorism?
I don't think that America generally is a state sponsor of terrorism.
Okay, well, in the Obama administration, it's very well known we were arming moderate rebels that turned into ISIS and turned into ISIL. So America backs these proxy groups. The CIA backs these proxy groups.
But that was due to Bush doctrine.
Most of that now Trump isn't. Now Trump is Bush.
Trump has when? Where's the forever war?
We're in the Middle East.
Not a single boot on the ground.
We've been in the Middle East the majority of Trump's administration.
Is there a single boot on the ground in Iran?
We have been at a war in Iran since.
Is there a single boot? Okay, where?
That's like
where?
All over the Middle East. We got boots on the ground.
No, in Iran.
We got boots on the ground.
Where's our invasion?
In the Strait. We got people in the Strait. We're talking about going to Kharg Island.
Oh, we had 7,000 people there, and now there's 10,000 people there. So where's the big invasionary force to take over Iran?
So okay, fine. I'll tell you what.
Where's that?
If they do go into Iran, what will you say?
I mean, yeah, he's right. There's no boots on the ground, but they sure do look like they're on standby.
Yeah. Well, at that point, I'm done.
Okay, fair enough.
It is the case.
Fair enough.
I've drawn the line for myself that if there's a ground invasion in Iran, that would be a continuation.
What about casualties?
Hang on. That would be a continuation of the Bush policies.
What about casualties?
Hang on. Let me finish the point, and I'll get to casualties too.
Yeah, bro. You're done.
If it's the case that there's a mass ground invasion of Iran, then yeah, I would have to pull support then because that would be a continuation of Bush forever war doctrine. However, limited strikes like what we saw in Venezuela or 6 to 8 weeks, which is what we're seeing right now, that's not enough to pull my support from this president, especially with all of his success in domestic policy. Even if I grant you, and I'm not a fan of the war, I'm not an advocate of it, but even if I grant it that it's the worst thing he could have possibly done, it's not going to change the fact he's been a successful president. His domestic policies alone in eliminating crime and mass migration and being a net negative, that's what people wanted more than anything. It wasn't just the forever wars, it was the mass migration. That's what Trump always harped on. And he's been after it and after it and after it. And he did.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. We're slowing down on the mass migrations. And I mean, you guys don't believe me, but let me go ahead and show you this article real quick. Because I showed this article multiple times. But here it is. MAGA erupts as Republicans push to offer path to undocumented migrants. Yeah. And this comes from Newsweek. You can go ahead and read the article yourself. You're going to be pretty blown back because, yes, Republicans are betraying the MAGA agenda and pushing for amnesty for undocumented migrants. Yeah. Tough. But all right, though.
Deploy the National Guard to protect these various centers in these cities while ICE was removing these people from the nation. Democrats did everything that they could do to stop them, including court cases, terrorism against them, and everything else in between. So it's like all of those show me that the guy is very successful, even if I grant it to you how bad Iran is.
Well, I think that they made a major blunder on the deportations because now they're basically stopping them. They should have gone after the Democrats first. Quite frankly, they should have been arresting Democrats for treason. Alejandro Mayorkas should have been the first arrest. He should have been hauled in front of Congress. And you're a little.
I'm sorry. Whoever said that Newsweek was left leaning, you're an idiot. It's actually center, and it's actually known for giving more conservative and right leaning perspectives. And, you know, right leaning or even turn populist. So, no, that's actually more right leaning than anything. But, you know, you guys read an article and you don't like how it sounds. It's a left leaning article, even though it comes from like somewhere like the Daily Mail.
Too late going after the SPLC, in my opinion, which is now being, funny enough, it's actually being directed at the right. They're now using this SPLC thing to claim that anybody that's a dissident on the right is paid for by leftists and needs to be censored. That seems to be the theme with that. But they should have gone after all of these groups right out of the gate, Andrew. They should have gone after all the Catholic charity groups, all the Jewish charity groups, all these groups all along the Rio Grande, all of these groups on the southern border.